morning again. It's kind of like a strange podcast idea that I'm working on, and hopefully I can start catching on to different ideas and making things cool. And if you want to watch the video as I'm just doing weird things and walking around and speaking, that's cool. If not, then that's cool too. Hopefully you can get something out of what I got going on. So back into the medicine wheel. I'm going to talk about the spiritual side of things, just the spiritual. So inside of the spiritual side of the medicine wheel, which is going to be westward facing, grizzly bear, it's attached to, I can't remember. I need to buy another book so I can start explaining what the West is and how it functions. But with mine and the one that I've worked on, it's spirit, essence, energy equals hope. Because we all have a spiritual side. We all need to have a spiritual side. That spiritual side is the direct line to your God, or it's to your God. And so with our spirit, we all have one. The spirit is God. God is spirit. And so if we sit down and we think about that simple saying, God is spirit, there it means that there are multiple spirits that live in this world. Multiple different kinds of spirits. I mean, just think about how many people live here, each with their own individual spirit. And their line, or the line that is there between their God, your God, is directly connected and affected with that spirit. To sit down and to sit with the spirit is not a bad thing. It sounds crazy, but we need more people like that, because that spirit is a form of leadership. We have a lacking of leadership in this country. We have poor leaders. And it's been like that throughout history. It's not just in today's day and age. I mean, look at the Crusades, for example. Those spiritual leaders, those priests, those people that did those things, they did some pretty major atrocities in the name of the spirit, because God is spirit. And if you think about that spirit that was attached to those people that were forcing that and doing those atrocities, well, that's a poor spiritual leader. And as individuals inside of our society, we need to start connecting that. We need to start working with that. We need to start understanding that. We need better spiritual leaders. And I mean, I've been all over the place. I've talked to multiple different kinds of people. I was raised Christian, so I'm very biblically backed inside of the world. I was raised Mormon, so I've read the Bible multiple times. I don't read the Book of Mormon anymore because I don't believe in it. But I do believe that there are other avenues. And that's one thing I do respect about the Mormon faith, is they are willing to delve into this idea of what the spirit is. Because God is spirit. I've studied shamanism, so I'm shaman. That's my faith. That's who I am. That's part of my identity. Just like climber logger, that is my identity. That is who I am. That is what I do. That is how I function. That being shaman is a connection between heaven and earth. It's that spirit. And what is a shaman? Well, a shaman is no different than a priest, is no different than a monk, is no different than like a bishop, or whatever spiritual leader you want to desire to call somebody. All they are is just a spiritual leader. They understand how it works, how it functions. Now, spirit, essence, and energy. Our spirit, we all have one. It can be very positively driven or negatively driven. But it's the same thing. Let me rethink that. Let me rephrase that. Sorry. It's very positively driven and negatively driven. But you cannot have one without the other. It's a positive and a negative. It's how the world works. It's how it functions. I mean, just look at the polarities of how the earth is built. Car batteries, for example. That car battery, you have a positive terminal and a negative terminal. You cannot have one without the other. And it's the same for the spirit. The essence is the same thing. I look at people And the way the essence works is going to function through like masks. You put on a mask every day, whether that's going to be a positive mask or a negative mask. For myself, I don't wear masks. What you see is what you get. I put on different hats. There's the tree climber, blogger. There's the dad hat. There's the shaman hat, the spiritual leader hat. There's the firefighter hat at one point, but that's been retired, you know. I that's how I function. That's how my essence works, is because I don't want to live a life where I have to be something that I am not, because that's a hell of a way to live. I want my essence to be as pure as humanly possible, so that there is no surprises with the person that stands in front of you. But there's going to be surprises. I mean, it's just kind of how it works. Everybody is this way. It doesn't matter. I don't care what you're into, tarot, astrology, whatever. I mean, even in astrology, it's built into it. You know, you have your sun sign and your moon sign, you know. Like for myself, I'm a Virgo, so what you see is what you get. And as time has progressed, and as I've worked with these things and understood these things and meditated and asked questions and built and all this stuff, it creates better things for myself. It helps to move forward, because I am one person inside of society. I cannot change, because that's where we're sick right now, right? In prior videos, if you don't know, that's where we're sick. We're socially ill. So how do we start fixing our society? How do we start fixing people within society itself? How do we start doing that? Well, it starts with the spirit. We have to fix our own spirit and align it with God, and to live in truth, to be able to proceed forward. No masks. Take them off. Who are you? Be truthful with yourself. And then you have your energy. The energy is, you know, that's kind of a physical thing too. It's a direct connection between body and spirit. If you're hungry, get cranky. If you know you have a cranky energy, if you lose a loved one, you're going to have a very sad energy. You win the lottery, you're going to be very happy for a moment until they freaking ruins everything, I guess. Because I guess the lottery is just one of the worst things on the planet to have happen to somebody. But whatever, I'm not going to go negative on that one. But our energy directly affects everything too. You know, it's an unseen thing, but you can see it. It's a direct connection between spirit and body. And the energy that we carry, you know, can be very negative or very positive. And it kind of goes, what I've noticed is day by day, between everybody as an individual. So how do we start to heal this spiritual side of ourselves in this lifetime? Well, our spiritual side, we need to get that relationship with God. I'm going to say that multiple times. Get that relationship with Him. Sit with Him. Find good, solid, healthy, spiritual leaders that do not require any kind of money in return for that spiritual healing. That is key. Because like myself, in my story, the way I learned, I met a gal because I got divorced, yada yada, sob story. And I was in a really, really, really dark spot because of a lot of things. Now, we'll learn about kind of these things as time goes on, as videos progress, and as I speak. I was sick, but it was a spiritual illness for myself. And right now in society, and I believe in the collective idea that whatever multiple people put into the universe, that strengthens whatever that is as being put into the universe, whether it's going to be a positive or a negative. This is medicine wheel. This is all about healing the individual to better the society. So as I progressed and I was just doing things, I Googled shaman near me, which was awesome because I found my mom. Because my mother doesn't like me and she's abandoned me, and I've never, ever, ever known what unconditional love was. I didn't know what it was. And Peggy, my mom, she taught me this. She helped me to understand unconditional love. Now, with this unconditional love and this spiritual illness, the love that I knew was making me very sick. And because of that spiritual illness inside of myself, I started having more mental illness, and it's just this downward spiral into darkness. So, where to begin? I had to realign the spirit to heal the mind, to heal the body, to heal the relationships. And some relationships never heal. Some relationships never progress forward. And that's okay. That means that God was not wanting those relationships attached to me and in my life. And that's fine and dandy. As heartbreaking as it is, that's fine and dandy. Shit happens. So back to this unconditional love. It helped me to understand God even more. Because if love does not exist within yourself, then you will not fully be able to be present for the loved ones that you say you love. So be there for yourself. Love your God with all your heart, mind, body, and soul, so that you can love the people around you and be there for them in a way that is healthy for them, so that they can be successful and understand what true love is. Now, true love, unconditional love, godly love, whatever you decide to call it, that's the key. That's one of the reasons why I also put love into this medicine wheel, is because love is a very spiritual thing as well. But it's a connection between the two. But back to the spiritual. Spirit, essence, energy, and hope. If we do not understand love and what love brings and unconditional love, our hope can start to diminish. Now, what is hope? Hope is faith. Hope is doing something without an expectation of a return. Hope is knowing that everything will be all right. Hope is faith, and faith is hope. And it also does kind of say that in the Bible too. And it talks about those things in multiple different religions. And I hope that one day religion will no longer be needed. I hope that one day that the religious leaders and the religions of this world start to decrease and disappear, because all it's done for us as society for thousands of years has just created division. It has created hatred. It has created variances. It has created so many nasty things. I mean, look at the Crusades and the Muslims. I mean, the Crusades are still going on today over religion. Muslims versus Christians. And it's still happening. Regardless of what you want to say, I don't care what you have to say. Bring it. If you're going to challenge it, bring it. But you better bring it with a sense of truth. Because your God will reveal themselves. Your spirit, who rules your spirit, will reveal themselves at some point in time or another. So be cautious of the God that you choose to follow. Be cautious of the God that you choose to love. Be cautious of your God that you're going to love with all your heart, mind, body, and soul. Because that will affect your spiritual side of your existence. Thank you for listening. And I love you guys. Have a good day.